Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Löwe. It's a Tier 8 German premium heavy tank. It's located on the north spawn of Abbey under the command of Andromeda. Battle started. Well, the Löwe is quite an interesting tank because this is the tank that might have been but never was because Hitler cancelled the project. Originally it started out in 1941 as the VK-1701, a 70-ton tank by Crook. But that project kind of got shelved because instead they went ahead with the Tiger II and, well, development started towards the more heavier tanks. Hitler wanted something that was in the 100-ton range. The Löwe's got a 105mm gun, which is the KWK L71. Oh, rather, not the KWK-71, it's the KWK-L70, I should say, which is capable of doing 320 alpha, penetrating 234mm with standard ammo. Now with the premium rounds, it goes up to 294. Now, it does have a rather long reload, but then think about the damage. 320 hit points of damage with decent penetration on any enemy tank. So even if it comes up against tier 10s, it's going to be fairly good at supporting from a distance. It does have some weaknesses, we'll go over those during the battle. Now you can see in this battle, with a reload of 11.51 on the book, Andromeda's got it down to 9.91 and he's opted to go through the water. If you can get up onto the islands, you can try and hop your way across, so long as you don't expose your lower plates. And of course this tank does have decent gun depression of 10 degrees, so you can hide your lower plate, which is one of the weaknesses, and get shots on the enemy without him being able to return fire. Okay, gets clobbered by a 122, pulls back to hide his lower plate, but he's exposing it every time he goes up. But the 122 takes a round for 321, which is a high roll. He's going to do it again. Before he can, the tank is taken out by R122. There's a Centurion up there, he's going to expose himself, and he goes down with one shot. And he's got hit by the Arty, who knows where he is, and we think we know where the enemy Arty is as well. He's somewhere on the K row in K6, I think. Well, Andromeda's moving ahead. So getting back to the history. Originally, Hitler cancelled the project in favour of the development work that was going into the Panzerkampfwagen B, which is the Tiger II. And like the Tiger II, it has very strong turret with very strong sides of the vehicle. But it's got a very slow speed as well. It's so heavy, this tank. It's 99 tons. Well, near as damn it, 100-ton tank being powered by an engine that's only capable of 800 horsepower. Although they did upgrade it to a 1,000 horsepower engine from a Daimler-Benz, which was originally supposed to go into the Schnell boots, the fast torpedo boats that the Germans had, the E-boots. And so eventually it could move at 35 kilometers an hour. Originally they suggested it would be 25 kilometers an hour. Oh dear, he's getting holed by that GSOR, but he finishes him off with one shot. Let's have a look and see where those shells went. Oh, you can see he got them into the lower plate, which is one of the weaknesses of this vehicle. It's got a very strong upper plate, but a very weak lower plate. And the Arty was exactly where we thought he was. Well, Andromeda's very low on hit points now. He's only got 164 after that hit by the GSOR, so he really needs to preserve his hit points as much as he can. And when doing that, in this tank you need to angle, and almost angling at 45 degrees angle, so you're actually forming almost like this. That's it, that's angling to the enemy, almost showing your side, like a diamond angling, you know, so you're very, very well angled. But there's only one problem with angling and showing your sides, is because there's a weak spot where you should aim for on the Löwe every time. It's the ammo rack. And it's directly underneath the turret. I think you can see it here. If I move the cursor over it, I'm hoping the cursor's being picked up. It's that little bulge on the hull at the sides of the vehicle, just underneath the turret, that's the ammo rack. If you can put a shell into that, you will potentially blow the turret off. Now, there are ready racks of ammunition also in the turret, and this game is over rather quickly, and it was a 15-0 victory. So we didn't get to see any more action, but this game is special for a different reason, and we'll see that very shortly. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Here's the end of battle stats, and you can see for Andromeda, he only managed to, well, hit a few of the enemy tanks and get some damage, but I think the thing was, the battle was over very, very quickly in a 15-0 win, and his win rate from the game was 569. He did get 2 kills and some damage on some other enemies, but or one other enemy. But it was over too quickly because his teammates managed to finish off the enemy, and I think one of the enemy was prompted to actually complain bitterly about that after the end of the game. You can see Andromeda's well down the table because there was a Progetto on his team who was really hammering the enemy. There were 3,424 hit points of damage picked up. The Confederate didn't get the high caliber though, because it was a high tier game, and there was or a tier 8 game rather. I think it was tier 8. Was it tier 9? I think it was tier 9 actually. And he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool. When it came to kills, you can see that Andromeda shared joint second place with 2 kills each, alongside the Centurion 5-1, the 122 TM, and it was the Skoda T27 who managed to pick up 3 kills. He was almost as good as the Progetto at dealing out the damage. When it came to base XP, it was that Progetto again with 1,198. 997 went to the Skoda T27, and we can see Andromeda was way down the table with 637. So you might say, why have I featured this replay? Well, if you look at this description down below, you can see the conversation that took place between one of the enemy tanks. I think it was Grampoon. It's just looking up his name there. It's not showing, but he was one of the enemy players, contacted Andromeda afterwards and said, GG bot, you class me as bot, yet my clan is top 150. This is Andromeda responding. We win 15 mil. You got to remember, in early days of what, it was making credits. Last 2 years, its stats. Also, I see you have no Kolobanov's medal. Everyone I know who play has at least one. Sure, Kolobanov medal is nothing but about having luck. Spamming heat is a bot behavior. Not using your 2 brain cells is a bot thing. All about stats. Stats without will kill the whole game. And when all of your at stat padder gays will realise that this game will be no more. And Andromeda responded, says the person who called me a bot, people like you ruin the game. Just remember, 15-0 with you in their team. Goes to show you have a great TD. You put 3 in me from a distance. I think it must be the GSOR driver. So you got to use aimbot, as that tank is not as good at hitting. Yes, he was the one who actually put the shells into his lower plate, actually. I.e. Van Dim 1980. There he is. Yes, the GSOR player. And he said, lol, you were going sideways with the Löwe, not too hard to hit. Also, you would have been, if any game intelligence, which you lack at all, you should have loaded HE to do more damage to a paper TD like me, but it is too smart for you to think. You know, dumb idiots like you will cause the end of what? And he says his personal rating is 5034, and the PR is 7598. Is that his PR is 7598. Well, the point here is actually Andromeda was actually driving his Löwe correctly. He did try to angle whenever he could, but he didn't know the GSOR was there until he started hitting him. And of course, because the GSOR is an auto loader and the Löwe is very, very slow to move about, it was very difficult for Andromeda, excuse my language, excuse my voice, it was very difficult for Andromeda to angle quickly enough to actually avoid getting hit in his lower plate. And of course, if you angle too much, you actually offer the ammo rack to the enemy and they can just hit you on the side, take you out that way. So you have to be very careful about how you angle to an enemy. But best thing of all is just to hide your lower plate. And he was doing very well on the river road. As you saw, he did take out one enemy on the river road, got the Centurion. So he did actually get a nice kill there, and he did get the GSOR in the end. If we look at the detail report now, 6 shots fired, 4 direct hits, 3 penetrations, damage of 535 hit points, of which 22 hit points was at a distance of more than 300 meters. That's all I think the GSOR had left at the end. 7 hits received, 4 penetrations, 2 non-penetrations, and 1 hit by way of splash damage. 560 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He damaged 3 enemy, killed 2, and did 157 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 41,043 credits, got 20,522 from personal reserves, a total of 61,565 credits altogether. After repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, took away a profit of 30,316 credits. You got 955 XP, 956 for completing the mission, 96 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 2,007 experience points altogether. So what does this say about the Löwe? Well, it's actually quite profitable if you play it right, and Andromeda certainly played it right because he got a 15-0 victory. He didn't die. He did get some shots into the enemy. The enemy got some shots into him, but he couldn't see that GSOR when he was actually being attacked. And I think that's the reason why the enemy was whining that he didn't get a kill and saying, oh, this is unfair. Really, no. Anytime, any battle where you get 15-0 in 4 minutes and 58 seconds, something is seriously wrong with the matchmaking or seriously wrong with the other players. And in this game, they didn't get a single kill. So yes, serious problem with their team, especially considering some of the vehicles that the enemy had. They got a Pantera, they had a Tiger 2, a Progetto, an IS-22. They should have got at least 1 kill out of that game, but they didn't get any at all. And in fact, actually, when you see a game where you see a Scorpion get no damage whatsoever, yeah, I think you've got to be seriously worried. So yes, I suppose this battle came about, and this guy gave his comments because he was very frustrated, especially so that he got taken out by a Löwe at a distance. But the fact of the matter is that Andromeda loaded the ammo that he needed for that particular moment in time. And when he got assaulted by the GSOR, he just responded and sent a round back at the guy, and he got the kill. And that just really annoyed this player enough to send him all that messages. I don't see anything wrong with what Andromeda did. I think actually the GSOR player, if he's going to complain, should be complaining to Wargaming that the matchmaking was dreadful enough for them to get a 15-0 victory in that quicker time. It doesn't get the fastest 15-0 award, because at the moment, basically, we do have a 15-0 victory. It's far faster than that in our books. And that was one I was actually in myself, and that was incredible. But it's still interesting that that person responded the way he did to Andromeda. And thanks for showing us this replay, because it's not the fault of Andromeda that this battle ended so quickly, and it's no fault of Andromeda for using the ammunition he did. If you're going to blame anyone, blame Wargaming, because the matchmaking was dreadful. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.